Hey everyone, welcome to Waxpack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through card breaks and the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell, and today we're going to talk about the cards I love. This is not going to be a traditional card break, but instead we're going to start the process of going through this. This is my collection of baseball cards that I collected with the help of my family in the 90s. And we're going to open this up, and I'm going to start this by going through each of the pages in this book. And we're going to start with this page. I'm going to go into each of the cards in detail, but you can get a sense here of the kind of cards that I had growing up and the cards that I currently still have. And these are cards that date from the all the way back to the 1940s in some cases, up through the mid-90s. So I'm going to start the process of going through all of these cards with you. I'm excited to share them with you. These are the cards that made me fall in love with baseball, that made me fall in love with the game's history. And I can't wait to get started with you. So we're going to go back to the first page. I'm going to go through each of the cards individually, and let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start with the first page of the book. And these, I took the cards out of that first page and put each of them in penny sleeves. A little bit easier to handle the cards that way. So we're going to just start with the very first card in the book on the top left, and it is this card, this Mickey Mantle card from 1968 Topps Game. So in addition to the regular Topps set, Topps put out a game set that year that people could play a game. I think it would involve dice potentially. This is the only Mickey Mantle card in our collection, and this is very special because my dad's favorite player as a young kid, before he became a Red Sox fan, was Mickey Mantle, and he was the favorite of many kids growing up in the United States in the 50s and 60s. The sort of complete five-tool player playing on the Yankees, the legendary franchise. Certainly an imperfect person, but somebody who was a hero to millions across the world. And this was, I believe 1968 was his last year before he retired. So, again, it's the only Mantle we have in our collection, and again, it's from a game set that came out from Topps. So the next card is the first one of the 50s Bowmans that I have, and it is a 1950 Johnny Mize. Johnny Mize, Hall of Fame first baseman, many years with the Cardinals and the New York Giants, and then later at the end of his career, as you can see here, with the New York Yankees, and World Series champion multi times over. Again, one of the best first basemen ever. Nickname was the Big Cat, Johnny Mize. And so this is a 1950 Bowman. You can see here that this card had been glued in the back of a book. And I want to give a special shout out to Ken Ware, the proprietor of Top of the Steps Baseball Card Shop in Bartlett, New Hampshire, where my dad and I bought most of these cards probably that are on this page of the book, and especially the 50s Bowmans came from him. So shout out to Ken Ware. And again, these were cards that we bought that had previously been taped, glued in a book, and that is why some of them are in the condition that they're in. This is Charlie Dressen. This is a 51 Bowman. As you can see, they put the names of the guys on the front of the cards for this year. Charlie Dressen was the manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. He succeeded Leo DeRocher. 1951, of course, a really important year, and there will be a video that I do that focuses on a lot of the happenings of the 1951 season, especially in the National League. And you can see some of the names on that he had written into the lineup there, including Carl Furillo, Duke Snider, Jackie Robinson is listed there. And there's a name at first base that we're actually going to talk about momentarily. But Charlie Dressen was the manager for those Dodgers teams in the 50s after Leo DeRocher had left. Now we have another card from the 68 game set, Topps game set, and that is Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson, the greatest defensive third baseman ever to play the game of baseball. That didn't put up the most sort of prolific hitting numbers, but his nickname was the human vacuum cleaner, and he earned that. This was during the prime of his career, late 60s, 1970. The Orioles were world champions that year. I believe he may have been the MVP of that series, but he was just an unstoppable force. You could not get the ball past him at third base. Played for about 20 years, all with Baltimore, and just an absolute legend. And again, this from the 68 game set. Okay, then we have this 1950 Bowman of Gil Hodges. Gil Hodges, whose name you could kind of see at the back of that card that I'm just going to shake this out a little bit so it's a little bit straighter. In fact, I'm just going to push it down slightly. There you go. So you get a good look at Gil there. Beautiful card, 1950 Bowman. One of my favorites in my whole collection. It took many years after his death for him to finally get in the Hall of Fame, but he did get in the Hall of Fame in 2022, and his wife was still alive. His widow was still alive, and then unfortunately his widow passed away a couple of months after that. But first baseman, legendary member of those Dodgers teams from the early, from throughout the 50s, and then was the manager of the Miracle Mets in 1969. And unfortunately, he passed away a few years later. He only lived to be 47 years old, I believe. And but just a great player, a great member of those Dodgers teams, well remembered. I'm going to go again to the 1952 Bowman set for this card for Jerry Pretty, who was a member of the Detroit Tigers. He was a second baseman. He was, I believe, remembered for his defensive prowess. And was one of the better, like I said, one of the better second basemen in the American League in particular during the, I think, late 40s and through the 50s. And I believe it was in the top 100 best second baseman of all time on Bill James's list. All right, so the next two cards are going to be cards from the Ted Williams, and I'll just, I guess I'll show them both right here as I talk about them. The 1959 Fleer set of Ted Williams cards that sort of were about his life and times as his career kind of neared an end. Fleer was trying to get into the game, into the baseball card game that had been dominated by Bowman and then eventually Topps, and they got an exclusive deal to do these Ted Williams cards. And you can see these are there's I can't remember how many of them there are in the set. There's almost 100, I think, maybe 90 or so. And so I ended up getting two of them, and these are about his hitting fundamentals. And there's interesting explanations on the back of these cards about what to do. Wait for a good ball before you swing. That was kind of Ted Williams' biggest thing, was get a, what's the number one rule of hitting? I believe he always said it, and it was get a pitch to hit. So that's what he did. So these are cards from the, like I said, near the end of the Ted Williams run. I don't have any other Ted Williams cards from his playing days exactly, I don't believe, but these are the two from the, like I said, the 59 Fleer set. And Fleer was kind of was out of the game of making cards for a long time, and then they got back into it, as I think in the 1980s. So these are my Ted Williams cards from 1959. And then the last card that we're going to talk about today is this 1950 Bowman Walt Dropo rookie card, which is in tremendous condition. Not super well centered, but it's in very good shape. You can kind of see the back here. I don't believe that this card doesn't have any glue markings on the back, but Walt Dropo still has the all-time Red Sox rookie home run record of 34, which he hit in this year, 1950, and he won the American League Rookie of the Year. Following that, the next year, he broke his wrist and was never quite the same player. We're going to see a few more Walt Dropo cards as we get through my collection, but he was from Moosup, Connecticut. His nickname was the Moose, and he lived many, many years. I believe he coached as the years went on, and but again, he never quite lived up to the player that he was in 1950. But that's Walt the Moose Dropo for you, and that's his rookie card and one of my favorite cards in my collection. But we're going to go back to the first card that we mentioned. I'm going to leave that up at the top here as we wrap this up. So I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to do these as we move along in this series, all of these different videos of my collection. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you got the sense of kind of what I love about cards, what I love about the history of the game, and it came through these particular cards. So the next time we're going to go through the second page in my book, and we're going to continue to go through these. And there's some really interesting things and stuff I'm really excited to share with you out there. So tell me about what was your favorite card in this group of cards from my collection. Anything really stand out to you? Anything that you wish that you had, or do you have any of these cards in your collection? Let us know in the comments. Please give this video also a like, and please subscribe to Wax Pack Wisdom for more great content that we're trying to put out there. We've got a bunch of card breaks that we've done, vintage card breaks. We're gonna have more vintage card breaks coming up, and present day card breaks as well. We love talking baseball. We love talking the history of baseball. Please follow us on all of our social media channels. You see the links below in this video. And also check out our list of nonprofits and charities that we love to support. And I hope you please consider supporting them. So again, thank you for watching this video. Again, please subscribe to Waxback Wisdom if you enjoyed it. And we will see you next time. Take care.